Okay, so we're going to do יורה, סימן כ"ט, הלכות טרפות, הלכות בדיקת הריאה ושאר הטרפות. Interesting, he emphasizes in the title of הלכות טרפות, בדיקת הריאה, because בדיקת הריאה is a type of בדיקה that was common, even though, you would look in sircha automatically. There were many things that would be posting the ריאה. Right. Okay, so כתיב.
כתיב, ובשר בשדה טרפה לא תאכלו...
Right, it says, לכלב תשליכון אותו. Okay, so that's טרפה.
מכאן, אזהרה לטרפה.
Because it's לא תאכלו, right? לא is אזהרה, don't do something. Alright, מצוות לא תעשה.
וסתם טרפה, היינו שטרפה ארי וכיוצא בו.
וסתם טרפה, when you have a טרפה, the meaning of טרפה is that something that was injured by another animal. Alright, so סתם טרפה is an animal that was injured by another animal.
Okay.
Right? So, וסתם טרפה היינו שטרפה ארי. For example, a lion attacked an animal, חרסה בו.
ועוף שדורס אותו עוף.
הדורס. So, off, it could be one bird, which is nidras by off dores, because not every off is dores. A pigeon is not off dores, a dove is not off dores, right?
Yeah.
But then there's offim. You see these owls when we were in the forest in Vermont. I saw this owl at night. It was a white owl, so it was easy to see, and it was big, like big wingspan, and they come in a very aggressive way, and they have these talons, right? That's an off dores.
Yeah. כגון הנס וכיוצא בו.
I think nest is, I'm not sure what nest is. Hold on one second. So I'm sorry, the nest is not, owl is the yanshuf.
Yeah.
That's what it is, okay? The nest is the falcon, okay?
ועל כורחך.
ועל כורחיך.
ועל כורחיך, לא יראה בנטרפה
ומתה. Now, when the Torah tells us, says, haram to eat this animal שנטרפה, it can't be an animal that died. How do we know it can't be an animal that died? ואם כן,
הבלה נבלה.
אבל אין נבלה. Because if it was an animal that died, then it would be נבלה, right? So, דמה לי נבלה שהוא מת על ידי החיילים.
דמה לי נבלה שהוא מת על ידי החיילים, או שמתה מעצמה.
What do I care why the animal wasn't killed by proper shechita? It was killed by somebody else. Somebody took a gun and blew the brains of the sheep out. It was old and it finally died. Terefa is it's not a terefa, it's a nevela, obviously, right? It's referring to a situation when the pasuk says "Ubasal basale terefa lo tochelu." It's referring to a situation shenitrefa. It was injured, but it didn't die.
ואי אפשר לומר תטרפה בעלמא שהוכתה מכה כלשהו תהיה צורה.
On the other hand, you also can't say that the b'terafa be'alma, if it just gets scratched it.
Yeah.
I know a lion came in and scratched the animal and did nothing more.
Yeah.
That's also not terefa. On the other extreme, הכתיב.
לכלב תשליכון אותו.
Right, so it says, ובשר בשדה טרפה לא תאכלו, לכלב תשליכון אותו. So the pasuk continues, it says, לכלב תשליכון אותו. Why the pasuk says, לכלב תשליכון אותו? To teach us that the animal will eventually die. And when the animal dies, since you're not allowed to eat it, give it to the dog. But if it was just a scratch, a minor injury, it wouldn't say לכלב תשליכון אותו, right?
Yeah.
All right, לכלב תשליכון אותו. Okay. You understand the point? So he said, it's not gonna be a dead animal. If it was a dead animal, obviously it'd be asur.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an animal with a minor injury. It's going to be an animal that got injured sufficiently so that it will die from that injury.
Yeah.
Okay. Alma Mayre, from here we know.
Alma Mayre,
Ba'enan, right. This is a misprint. Ba'enan. It should be the yod after the ayin. Okay, ba'enan.
ba'enan, שאינה יכולה לחיות. On
the one hand, it can't stay alive too long.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's only the yala keleb. Okay.
Is there like a shi'ur? So like, if it's alive for like 24 hours, if it's not a nevela, like...
That's why you have the laws of nevela. For the laws of Nevilah, the 70 types of טרפות, מחילה, not נבלות, טרפות, is telling us exactly what a nevilah is. And yes, there is a shiur. What?
What a nevilah is or what a טרפה?
What a טרפה is, right? It's telling us man, I've been in the sun too long today. It's telling us what a טרפה is, right? That's the laws, הלכות טרפה. Or in Harambam, הלכות שחיטה, right? That's what the Chachamim, and these things, many of these laws, as the Rambam says, are halacha leMoshe Sinai, right?
But I mean, like, where's the line between a nevilah and טרפה? If it's a nevilah, it dies right away.
Nevilah means an animal that's already dead. And the animal didn't die through proper shechita. So it has to be dead. If it's not dead, it's not a nevilah.
Okay.
Right? If it's not dead, it's not a nevilah. If it's not dead, it could be a terefa, of course. But as long as it's alive, there's a question in Hilchot Yom Tov, you're only allowed to do shechita on Yom Tov for food that you're going to be eating on Yom Tov. Right? Yeah. Okay. So I can't, for example, make shechita on a cow now because I'm having a meal, we'll say Yom Tov.
Okay.
Simple law. Let's say I have an animal, and the animal is sick, and I realize it's going to die.
Yeah.
Doesn't have too many, maybe it's just an old man, maybe the cow was smoking cigarettes, and now it's finally, that's it, it's going to die. The point is, lo ni terefa. And it doesn't have any of the terefot. I mean, you're not aware of any terefot at least.
Okay.
So now, the question is, can you do shechita on the animal before Yom Tov, knowing that you're not really going to eat the...
You mean on Yom Tov?
I'm sorry, before Yom Tov finishes, on Yom Tov. You are correct. Can you do shechita on the animal on Yom Tov, knowing that you're not going to eat the animal until after Yom Tov? And the answer is, I believe it's Kedesh Yachol Mimena Kazayit Basar. I think you have to be able to eat Kazayit Basar. I think even be'umsa, even if it's raw, or lightly. I don't remember if it has to be completely raw. We could look at Hanabam later on. Actually, you know what? Get Hanabam. Let's get it. So we finish halacha. I don't like not finishing halacha. But it has to be Kazayit. You have to be enough time so that you can make shechita and take a Kazayit of meat and eat the Kazayit of meat before the sunset. So it's a Mishnah in Masechet Besa. I think it's the Perek Gimel Halacha Gimel Behema Mesukenet. So you have to be able to roast it. It's not, meaning it's not be'umsa. It can't be. It has to be enough time to make shechita on the animal before sunset and take a kazayit basar and roast it sali and then you can have it on. You can do shechita on Yom Tov, and in that way you save the whole animal. It's talking about the Behema Mesukenet.
Yeah.
The only issue is one of Yom Tov. There's no issue of nevilah or terefa. Actually, terefa would be the proper, right? As long as you did shechita, and then you looked inside and you know there's no uta or anything, you can have it, right? So that's a good like example to answer your question.
Okay.
Right.
Um.
All right. ובא להשמיענו. ובא להשמיענו.
כיוון שנטרפה בעינן שאינה יכולה לחיות.
לא, בעניין. In this case, בעניין שאינה יכולה לחיות.
בעניין שאינה יכולה לחיות, אפילו אם קדם ושחטה אסורה.
And therefore, as long as it was injured, the pasuk בא להשמיענו, that as long as it was injured in a manner so that it would end up dying from the injury, even though he said, let me make sure I found the animal before it dies, like the Behema Mesukenet. This was an old animal, a right old age animal. It's gonna die. There it helps. Here it doesn't, because you're in a טרפה. That's the idea of וכיוון
שידענו שנטרפה עד שאינה יכולה לחיות אסורה. אם כן הוא הדין אם עירה לה מעצמה חולי שאינה יכולה לחיות ממנה שהיא אסורה.
Now also he says that it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be that an animal taraf this behema. It could be some sort of internal pathology. For example, when we talk about הריאה שניקבה. the לא ניקבה על ידי an animal there was some pathology in the animal, some sickness that led to the nekev in the ריאה, or the קירום המוח. There's some sickness. Sometimes it could be that an animal punctured it. Okay, it could be that there's a pathology that led to a puncture in the membrane on the brain. Right. So והוא הדין, אם מילה לה מעצמה חולי, שאלה יכולה לחיות ממנה, שהיא אסורה, on condition that it's one of the 70 טרפות. דכי הכי דגבי נבלה, אין חילוק באמת מעצמה, או מת על ידי דבר אחר.
דכי הכי דגבי נבלה, אין חילוק באמת מעצמה, או מת על ידי דבר אחר.
The same way, in the case of nevela, we don't distinguish how the animal died. We don't care how the animal died. It could be that it died because it was old. It could be that it died because, I don't know, somebody came and choked it, right? We don't care.
אין חילוק בטרפה בין טרפה על ידי אחרים, בין טרפה מעצמה על ידי חולי.
Right, exactly. Also with terefa, we don't care. It got terefa because a lion attacked it. Okay, the lion attacked it. It's terefa, got terefa because it had some internal pathology. And this internal pathology led to an internal terefa. It's a terefa.
שבכל עניין היא טרפה, וזהו ששנינו, כל שאין כמוה חיה, טרפה...
כל שאין כמוה חיה, טרפה. As long as the animal in this situation would not have lived, it's terefa. Meaning, when you made shahita on the animal, it was alive. You made terefa on a live animal. So how can you know if it was going to die or not? So the answer is, any animal that had that internal wound, it would have died within 12 months.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's a terefa, even though you made shahita before it died.
But the case you were talking about before about somebody doing shahita and Yom Tov.
Yes.
There, you know that it's probably going to die before 12 months, but because there's no siman.
No, because the death is not caused by one of the terefot. Inachiname, you're right. Let's say the guy made shahita and then suddenly sees a huge nekev in the re'ah. Nekev that goes to the two membranes of the re'ah. Or he sees a huge membrane, nekev in the skull is smashed. Only he sees the skull is smashed. And he didn't notice.
But if you don't see that, even if it's going to die before, they're all...
Right, exactly. That's the point. It's behema mesukenet. Eventually the animal dies. And it's not considered terefa.
כל שאין כמוה חיית... Yeah, we already had that.
כל שאין כמוה חיה.
Yeah. ויש מיני חולאים שהלכה...
Wait, show me the place I also place. ויש מיני חולאים.
Yeah. שהלכה למשה בסיני שהיא נטרפת בהן לפי שאינה יכולה לחיות מהם והן שמונה.
And it's very interesting. And I like the way he phrased it. There are sicknesses that halakha למשה מסיני, this is considered a terefa. It's very important. There's 8 laws of terefa that we got halakha למשה מסיני.
Yeah.
I don't care whether, in my opinion, יכולה לחיות, לא יכולה לחיות.
Yeah.
שהלכה למשה מסיני היא נטרפת בהן. That's all I need to know. הלכה למשה מסיני has one of these 8 injuries, אינה יכולה לחיות. And that's the end of the story. והן שמונה.
Yeah.
Right, so this שמונה, I'm sorry, שיש מיני חולאים, חולי קשה. I think it's שמונה, right, זכר. Okay. And these are them.
תרוסה, נקובה, חסרה, נטולה, פסוקה, קרועה, נפולה, שבורה.
Okay, תרוסה. נתוסה by another animal. Right?
Okay.
נקובה, נקובת הריאה, נקובת המוח. חסרה, missing, we know there's different types of missing. It could be missing one of the notes of the re'ah or something else. Okay. There's, one second. חסרה, it was born that way. It was like you're missing one of the unot. A netula, somehow it lost it, right? So the first is somatagidin, which is by the foot of the hair. You see they have the picture here by the leg of the animal. Somatagidin, it's like the lower part of the leg, not exactly the foot, but there's like that's not the knee either, but I guess they have like an extra bend in the leg. It looks like, right? So somatagidin, okay. That's one, okay. The other is kaved, liver, and the other is the upper jaw. So any of these 3 is considered netula. That's called netula. that it was born properly, but then it lost it. Right? Then the next one after Netulah was Pesukah. Pesukah is the spinal cord. A very interesting law with the spinal cord. It has to be the skin or the flesh around the spinal cord. Right? If it's the actual spinal cord that broke, apparently, if I remember correctly, it's not considered Pesukah. Pesukah means the skin, the or, rov ha'or shechofet ha'shidra. Okay, that's called Pesukah. Then you have also Keru'ah. So that's, so what does it mean when he says Keru'ah? That's the, around the stomach there's flesh, and if the flesh around the stomach is split, that would be Keru'ah. What's Nefulah? Nefulah is the next one. Nefulah is that the animal fell from a place that's 10 tefachim high, and one of its organs, as a result of the fall, was smashed. Because you could have a situation where it fell and just bounced back on its feet, right? So...
It has like trouble walking.
Exactly. Well, you see, I mean, you see it fell now, suddenly can't walk, and then you see nitlasek achad me'ha'evarim, right? And finally, Shavura. So what does Shavura mean? Shavura, that would be a majority of the ribs, okay? All right, so that's it. So now so he brings a summary of the various terefot, and there's 8. Shemona terefot nevnu lanu Moshe b'Sinai, right? Derusa, nekuva, chasela, netulah, pesukah, keru'ah, nefulah, shavura. B'chol terefot necholin be'elu hashemona. Okay? So now, let's read the... Hold on, before we do the tour. No, let's finish the tour, then we'll do the בית יוסף. כתב הרמב"ם.
כתב הרמב"ם, אף על פי שכולם מלאכה למשה מסיני, אין לך פירוש מן התורה.
אין לך בפירוש.
אין לך בפירוש מן התורה, אלא דרוסה.
Right. And this is very important. What do I care that only derusa is מפורשת בתורה? So this is from these 8, only derusa is בפירוש בתורה. נקובה, no. חסלה, no. נטולה, no. פסוקה, no. קרבה, no. נפולה, no. שבורה, no. The הלכה למשה מסיני. דרוסה, also בפירוש בתורה. מה אכפת לי if it's בפירוש בתורה? למה נפקא מינה? Understand my question?
Good.
Very important. Ashdeda, really one of the great books written in the 20th century is the Yunim b'Mishneh Torah by Ashdeda. And he writes there things that most rabbis, I mean today the rabbis are at such a level, I mean I think most rabbis don't know. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you go to a tribe of aborigines in New Guinea, and I'm complaining that they don't know the theory of relativity. How can it Bushan that they don't know the theory of relativity? Whatever. Anyway, be that as it may, but yeah, it's one of the greatest books ever written on halakha in the last 200-300 years, and he explains that what makes a law deoraita, in order to be categorized as a deoraita law, it has to be mefurash b'Torah. So you can have a law that's ne'emra lo leMoshe b'Sinai, but it's not mefurash b'Torah, and therefore it's not considered deoraita. And a very interesting thing. So the oraita has to be meforash b'Torah, mitzvah meforeshet b'Torah, right? Halacha shemeforeshet b'Torah. But if not, then no. Yes, that's why it's so important. So halacha befirush min haTorah ela derusa. ולכן יחמילו בה. Now you understand, because ספק דאורייתא לחומרה. ולכן יחמילו בה.
וכל ספק שתסתפק בדרושה.
שיסתפק בדרושה אסור. Why? Because but the other ones were given to Moshe Rabbeinu. They were given Besinai. Mamash Besinai. How can you distinguish? The answer is once Meforash B'Torah, and on Meforash B'Torah we say that it's the Oraita, and the Oraita we say Safek the Oraita L'Chomas. You see, perfect. You see these chidushim of Shteda, or these דיוקים of Shteda. I don't think it's a chidush for people who don't know. It's not, But anyway, the point is that it makes perfect sense. Okay.
And is the difference between Halakha Moshe b'Sinai and the other 7, is the 70 included in?
No, some of the
8 included in the 70, or?
Oh, right, I understand. Right, so some of this, no, the 70 includes certain derusot. Right? Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, though. Okay.
So really 78 then, or?
No. Meaning, these 8 rules, whether they're the oraita or not the Oraita, הלכה למשה מסיני, או קבלה למשה מסיני, אמרו לו למשה בסיני. These are like the main categories, and there's different types of derusa, right?
Yeah.
There's different types of nekuva, there's different types of hasera, right?
Okay.
So it's not, no, there's not 70 yet, there's exactly 70.
Okay.
Okay. I had a very nice chidush on the Shivim Terefot, because it's connected to Shivim Umot HaOlam. Right, so כאילו, אנחנו, עם ישראל, חי וקיים לעד. Right, because of the berit, we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shivim Umot HaOlam is b'geder terefa. Eventually, after your bet chodesh. Brother, you see America. The people made a big deal about America 250 years. It's not a long time. I mean, the Roman Empire was far more than that, but it doesn't matter. The America right now is hemorrhaging. I don't know, maybe it'll survive. Maybe it'll end up surviving. But it's hemorrhaging. It's literally, it's dying. You see it. It's a dying country. Here's what, I mean, you see, like, they have now people in Congress that are virulently, not just anti-America, because they feel this policy is not good and that policy maybe is good. They're mamash anti, this sonim, they came to this country because they hate the country and they want to destroy the country. You know, so you see that I hope it doesn't happen. I'm not chas v'shalom, I'm not in favor. I love America. We lived here. It was very good to the Jews for as long as it was good to the Jews, which I'm not sure what's going to happen now. But the point is that it's a dying country, right? Only Am Yisrael is Chai v'Kayam. Like that, okay? Important to know that. So that's my chidush on Terefot, my Shivim Terefot, Kereged Shivim Umot HaOlam. Make of it what you will. All right.
ושאר מיני 7 טרפות, יש בהן ספק שמותרים.
Right. Like you have certain sefekot, because it's not sefek oraita. So there's certain sefekot that they're automatically mutarim. Right? So when you study the laws, you'll see there's certain sefekot in that they say, oh no, it's mutar.
אוקיי, והנני מפרש אותם על סדר הילוך הבהמה והתחיל מן הראש.
Okay, you wanted to follow the spatial anatomy of the animal. I'm going to start with the rosh. All right, I'm going to first start with the rosh and then I'm going to go backwards. So, gulgolet. Sorry that I interrupted you. I'm going to explain in a moment what gulgolet shenachbesa is, but you asked a question about Sinai, I think, or something.
Yeah, the difference is that there isn't going to be a bigger bet din and undo.
The laws we receive from Moshe Rabbeinu from Sinai are kayamim le'olam u'lol me'olamim. Not a question of legislation, not something that the Bedin can get rid of. The Bedin says, I don't like it. No. What we received, what Moshe Rabbeinu received, Behar Sinai, or what Moshe Rabbeinu received Be'ohel Moed, which is only the continuation of Har Sinai. But that's why it says Moshe Kibbutz Torah Mes Sinai. That doesn't say Bes Sinai.
Yeah.
If it said Bes Sinai, then what he received Bes Sinai would have a special status over what he received in Ohel Moed. So the Moshe Kibbutz Torah Mes Sinai. Sinai was only the beginning. It continued into Ohel Moed. That's why all these people, I mean, Chazat, people not intelligent, they think there could be no korbanot in the days of the Mashiach. I mean, other than the fact that it's kofer in Torah Moshe Rabbeinu, and they don't understand what the korbanot are for. They think, we're a bunch of, that Am Yisrael, we're a bunch of Indians, in Eskimos in Alaska, and we need to bring korbanot because we're like the Eskimos, need to bring korbanot. I mean, they just don't understand korbanot. It's sad that this is the intellectual level. But the more important point is, we receive these laws from Moshe Rabbeinu. I mean, you can't be kofer in the laws we receive from Moshe Rabbeinu. And certainly the people who are telling us to be kofrim in the laws that we receive from Moshe Rabbeinu, they're not greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. Lo kam be'Yisrael ke-Moshe od, also la'atid lavo. So, okay, but anyway, that answers your question. But you're right, if it was legislated as a bet din by the Sanhedrin, then theoretically it could be annulled sometimes. So he says, he's going to start with the skull. So the skull was smashed. That's the type of shavura. Before I brought the law of the 11 ribs, the rib cage was smashed, right? So that's the majority of the ribs were smashed. Another example of shavura is the skull. Most of the circumference and most of the diameter was smashed. That's a terefa.
think, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Even though the kerum is intact, the membrane surrounding the moth is intact, but if the skull was smashed,
Okay.
it's a terefa because it's considered a type of shavura.
Yeah. וניקב קרום של מוח.
A nekev in the kerum of the moach is considered one of the nekuva.
The kerum is like not the skull, it's the soft.
Right, no, exactly. So under the skull,
Yeah.
you have like a membrane. There's two membranes on the head, and the kerum is kerum of moach was a puncture. What do you call it? Help you to answer your question. If you look at Perek Vav of Ilchot Shachitav Harambam, Halacha Gimel, look what he says. Shene.
שני קרומות יש למוח שבראש.
So similar to the re'ah, right? Right. Now, but this is where you need to know detail. אם נקב העליון הסמוך לעשב בלבד, הרי זו מותרת. Right. If the part that's closer to the membrane that's closer to the skull, מותרת. But
ואם נקב התחתון הסמוך למוח,
terefa. It's not like the re'ah where both membranes have to be nakuv.
Yeah.
Here, the question is the bottom membrane. The membrane closer to the brain, that's what has to be nakuv. And that's, so now, here he says, v'nikav kerum shel moach. It doesn't say kerumot shel moach. Kerum, because it's only one kerum. Namely, kerum batachton. You understand? I want to make sure you understood that point. Yes, what was your question about the kehati?
One second, could we go the first one?
Yeah, of course. Please. Look at מסכת חולין, פרק ג' אלו טרפות בבהמה. נקובת הבשת, בסוכת הגרגרת, קרום של מוח, נקב הלב בבית חללו, נשברה השדרה, נפסק החוט, נטלה הכבד, הריאה שנקבה או שחסרה, נקבה הקיבה, נקבה המרה, נקבו הדקים, הכרס הפנימית, נקרא רוב החיסונה, אוקיי, המסס, ובית כוסות שנקבו, נפלה מן הגג, נשתברו רוב צלעותיה, ודרוסת הזאב. I counted 19, obviously I miscounted something. So now, I'm not going to recount it. He has a counting here at the bottom, Mechila. I should just count it, okay. נקובת הבשת, פסוקת הגלגלת, נקב קרום של מוח, נקב הלב לבד חללו, נשברה השדרה, נפסק החוט שלה, נטלה הכבד, הריאה, שנקבה שחסרה, נקבה הקיבה, נקבה המרה, נקבו הדקים, הכרס הפנימית שנקבה, that's number 12, נקרא רוב החיסונה, המסס, המסס with the כוסות, I counted this as 2, correct. נפלה מן המסס, נשברו צלעותיה, דרוסת הזאב, and finally, which was 18, דרוסת הזאב was 18. Okay, the point is, that you're right, the Mishnah mentions 18, right? Let's read the Kehati, because he's actually very good. I'm going to read it, with your permission. כתוב בתורה, ובשר בסלע טרפה לא תאכלו, לקל תשכון אותו. ומבאר הרמב"ם, טרפה האמורה בתורה, this is in הלכות מאכלות אסורות פרק ד', טרפה האמורה בתורה זו, שטרפה אותה חיית היער, כגון ארי, בן אמר, וכיוצא בהם, וכן עוף, שטרף אותו עוף הדורס, כגון נס, וכיוצא בה. ואין אתה יכול לומר שטרפה אותה והמיתה אותה, שהיא מתה, הרי נבלה, exactly what the Tur said. Right. ומלי מתה, but a lot of times, like the latter commentators, they use Harambam, and like when they would like write their books of Halacha, they would just basically copy from Harambam, maybe switch a word here or there, or not switch a word here or there. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing that. That's fine. If I was running a book of Halacha, I would also use the Mishneh Torah. I mean, I would have footnotes, Mishneh Torah, this and that, but okay. I'm not criticizing them for not having footnotes, because there was no footnotes back then, and whatever, I'm criticizing the fact that you can't criticize Harambam and then quote him al yamin val semo. You can't, say Harambam is, hit'atato ha-filosofia ha'arura, and then you just constantly quote Harambam al yamin val semo, so don't study his books. You know, they have Lieberman, Professor Saul Lieberman. So when I do videos, I like having the Tosefta Kipshuta in the background. They say he was no good because he taught at JTS. The guy was a Tamid Hacham. They say he was, and I believe that he was as great as the Vilna Gaon, you know, because he was he had a photographic, he knew the Gemara inside out, outside in, the entire Bavli Yerushalmi Be'al Peh. Now, you don't like him because he taught at the JTS, beautiful, you're much better than him, that's fine, I'm okay with it. You don't have to, I don't like gefilte fish. But I don't have, jars of gefilte fish, and eat the gefilte fish in secret and then say how much I eat gefilte fish. There's something sick about that, right? So they also, a lot of the Rashi Yeshivot in Bnei Brak, in places, they have the Tosefta Kipshuta, they hide it. And they use it. But they don't want to show, they have to keep it hidden under the bed or something. Somebody should know. So meaning, if you hate gefilte fish, and my brother I don't like gefilte fish, mechila, if there's somebody Ashkenazi watching this video, I don't like gefilte fish, but I'm not hiding it under the bed and eating it secretly. Right? That's all I'm saying. So, all right. So yeah, so they copying Lashon Rambam. It's beautiful, and Baruch Hashem, I'm sure Rambam is happy that he has a zechut that people copy him. Also, there was in this community, there was a lot of politics. Mechila that I'm imarich tipa b'davar, you should know because it's your grandfather. There's a lot of politics in the community, and Shteda was able to take all the chachamim, all the rabbis, all the melamdei Torah of the community, and he put it in the small pocket, and they wouldn't even budge the small pocket because he was like he knew Torah inside out, outside in. He understood all the mekorot, he understood all the shelot uchuvot, all the gemariot, all the sugot, the shonim, acharonim. He was a tremendous bekiut, and so many of them didn't like him. It's okay. So you don't have to like him. There's a lot of big chachamim that'll kiss their hands and I don't read their books. But then they'll quote him. They used to listen to his class and they bring his kiddushim as if although it was their kiddushim. That's repugnant. There's something sick about that. Yeah. Again, so I'm just mentioning it that you should know that it's okay not to like a particular rabbi as long as you don't respect him, of course. You're not allowed to disrespect hachamim. But to go against the hacham and then to use his writings or his classes and on the one mouth you speak ill, on the other mouth you're using it. Don't. That's repugnant. Anyway, mechila, that was a long digression, but it was an important digression. All right. So we said what the right derusa is. Harehi nevela umani meta mechadasam. Okay. Ha'enu medaber ela b'shnitifa v'lo meta. The pasuk is he's literally quoting the two. He's not quoting the two. It's quoting Halambam. It's Halambam. Halambam ilchot machlot asurot. Yeah. Okay. V'im terefa ve'im hitrifa shelo meta asura. But if hitrifa to the point where it didn't die from the initial attack, that's asura. Yachol im baze'ev ve'gadar gedi beraglo o biznavo. Let's say a wolf came and it pulled a gedi, a young goat, let's say, beraglo or biznavo or beozno, and then a person came and saved the gedi. Maybe then it's also asur sharei nitlaf. It was injured. Yeah. תלמוד לומר, הוא מסר בשדה תלפה לא תאכל, והקטע שכון אותו, עד שיעשה אותו, בשר הראוי לכלב, has to be בשר הראוי לכלב. And this is not בשר הראוי לכלב, this gedi, young goat or young sheep can grow up and become healthy and do stuff. הלמטה שהטרפה האמונה בתורה היא שטרפה אותה חיית היער ושברה אותה. It's broke it. אותה היא למות, ועדיין לא מתה. It's going to die from the injury even though it's still alive. אף על פי שגם מושחתה קודם שתמות, הרי זו אסורה משום טרפה, הואיל והיא הרשה שתחיה ממכה זו הבאה עליה. Simple. Yeah. Okay? נמצאת על המת. We have to summarize the matter. Yeah. All this is לשון הלמה. שהתורה אסרה המתה, I'm sorry. Yeah. והיא הנבלה. Okay, נבלה. Yeah. ואסרה הנוטה למות מחמת מכותיה. אף על פי שלא מתה, והיא הטרפה. הוא חושב שלא תחלוק במיתה ומתה מחמת מה? ובנפלה ומתה, בין שחנקה עד שמתה, בין שדרסה תחיה והרקה תקח, לא תחלוק בין אותה למות, בין שטרפה תחיה ושברתה, בין שלפה מנהגה משתגרו סלעותיה, בין שלפה נזו איבריה. בין שזרק בחץ וניקב ליבה או ראתה, בין שבא לחולי מחמת עצמה וניקב ליבה או ראתה, או שבא לא סועתה וחצה בה הועיל והיא נוטה למות מכל מקום. זאת טרפה. So a person took a bow and arrow and he aimed it at the animal and it punctured the heart, one of the טרפות. Okay, so it's punctured. Right?
Yeah.
בין שהיה גונב בידי אדם, בין שהיה בידי שמיים. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, זה הכלל. Now, he says, בכל סוגי הטרפות המנויים בפרקנו הלכה למשה מסיני הם, משנתנו מונה שמונה 10 טרפות לבהמה. So, this is going to be, this Mishnah is going to have 18 terefot in the behemah. This Mishnah, so the first Mishnah of Perek Elu terefot has 18 terefot, and we read them right. I'm not going to repeat it. This is not all the terefot. This is terefot behemah. The Elu terefot ba'of. More terefot. Right? And then, of course, all right. So the point is that that the Mishnah brings a list of 18 terefot. It's not to mean that those are the only terefot, of course. That there's something special about these 18 over the 70. There's something special about the 8 because the number 8 is the different categories of terefot. But there's nothing special about the 18 in the Mishnah. Those are instances of terefot. All right, you understand? I want to make that clear because you seem to be asking about that. Okay. Okay, so we had he's mevarer al הסדר. גולגולת שנכבסה. ניקב שקרום של מוח. חוט השדרה שנפסק. כי הוא נמשך מן המוח. It says since the spinal cord is attached to the brain, I'm mentioning here. באחזור לראש. כי הוא ניטל ללכת. Now I'm going to go back to the, because he's saying I'm doing it in the order of the behemah, but I just went to the spinal cord, so I'm mentioning the spinal cord because it's attached directly to the brain. Now then you go back to the head. ניטל ללכת. Remember one of them is נטולה? So ניטל ללכת, ניטל לכבד, צומת הגידים שניטל. Right.
וטרפות הוושת.
Right, so example, there's a puncture in the kerum or on the beshet, right? והזפק בעוף. Zefek is the area, there's a certain area in the bird where it stores certain, I believe it stores certain waste or something. I'm not sure. Hold on one second, let's see if we can find the English word for zefek. I don't know, I'm not sure where. The orange thing is on the head, I thought, no? Zefek is a crop of the bird and it's like a pouch next to the esophagus where they store food or waste of, I don't know exactly. Okay, בין כך ובין כך, הזפק בעוף, והקנה, the windpipe, וכל האיברים הפנימיים כגון ריאה, lung, לב, כבד, מרה, תיכון, חוליה, האום, והדקים, והקיבה, I don't know what he meant here, but okay, we'll look later on, והכרס הפנימי, והחיצון, והמסס, or with the kosot is going backwards, the lower digestive organs. Now going back to the bird, okay. וניקב
בכוס לחלל לעיתה
והלעיתה חלטית ונפלה לאור ואחר כך האיברים החיצוניים כמו הידיים והצלעות והרגליים. Okay, he's going to explain all them. והשלח סם המוות. Okay, if it poison, והגישה נחש ונשאר כאב. Interesting, I don't remember seeing this. Okay, all right, we'll see. The point is, very interesting, this is what he has. Let's look at it, Bet Yosef, okay? So until now we did the tour. חבוד. כתיב.
כתיב, ובשר בצדי טרפה לא תאכלו. מכאן אזהרה לטרפה.
That's אזהרה לטרפה. This is where we learn the law of טרפה. אזהרה in the sense of לא תעשה.
וסתם טרפה, היינו שטרפה ארי וכיוצא בו.
Right. טרפה ארי וכיוצא בו.
עד ושאר 7 מיני טרפות.
טרפיות, יש בהם סרקסים מותרים. אוקיי, טרפות, you usually be should be טרפות, right? This is done.
אוקיי.
Okay, הכל, okay, here he says it.
הכל מדברי הרמב"ם בפרק ד'.
He says הכל מדברי הרמב"ם because the tour, he brings all this. He has a whole page here. He's bringing all these things. And then, later on he says, כתב הרמב"ם.
Yeah.
The whole thing was כתב הרמב"ם. So that's what you see. So Bet Yosef, he doesn't make a big deal about things, but he's a very careful writer. הכל מדברי הרמב"ם. Right, בפרק ד' מלכות מחלות אסורות. Like I said when we were studying, okay?
ובפרק מלכות שחיטה.
Right, so he took some things from פרק ד' of הלכות המחלות אסורות, הלכה ו' הלכה ט', and then the second part he took from הלכות שחיטה, פרק הלכות שחיטה, הלכה א' הלכה ג'.
וכתב הרב המגיד בפרק ד' מהלכות מאכלות אסורות.
Beautiful. Now he's going to quote the Magid Mishneh. Rabbi Chaim en Vidal de Toledo, the Magid Mishneh. Okay.
שמה שאמרו בכמה מקומות שהטרפות הלכה למשה מסיני, העניין כך הוא.
Okay, so now Magid Mishneh wants to explain what does it mean that טרפות is הלכה למשה מסיני. Let me explain this matter. למדנו.
למדנו שהטרפה אינה חיה לפי...
אינה חיה.
אינה חיה.
It's not going to live. Why?
לפי שעניין הכתוב הוא בשר שנטרף ועדיין הוא חי, אלא שסופו למות מחמת טרפותו.
Right, eventually he's going to die because of טרפותו.
Yeah.
וליון נשך הכלב, and once it dies, then he's going to give it to a dog. וכמו שהוכיח,
כמו שהוכיח רבנו, אבל לא נתבארו בכתוב דברים הטרופים.
הטורפים. The pasuk doesn't tell us what is considered a toref. ומביאים לידי מיתה. Never told us. Maybe are you talking about a hippo? Are you talking about that? Didn't say. The hippo is the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous animals in the world is hippopotamus. Ever see a sad scene as hippopotamus carrying a lion in its mouth and crushing it? Okay, right? ומביאים לידי מיתה. ונאמרו למשה.
ונאמרו למשה מסיני, ומקובלות בידינו נמצא ש...
ומקובלות בידינו. Right, there's certain things that נאמרו למשה מסיני, and we got them, קבלה בידינו. Now these things, again, there are some things in the Torah Shebe'al Peh, and I think Shtedler refers to this in the horizontal society as a primary mitzvah. Primary, not in the sense that it's the oraita. It's not the oraita. Only what the Torah writes explicitly is the oraita. But there are some things that we receive from Moshe Rabbeinu, and these laws will never change. These are the primary mitzvot. We receive them Kabbalah. נמצא
שעיקר הדבר מפורש בתורה.
So the ikar, the main law of טרפות is in the Torah. ובשר ושדה טרפה לא תאכלו. Right?
ופירוש פרטיות הלכה למשה מסיני.
And if you want to know the details, that you need הלכה למשה מסיני. It's a very nice explanation. So we know there's the law of טרפה explicit in the Torah. ובשר ושדה טרפה. What are the details? הלכה למשה מסיני. Okay.
וכבר יצא לרבנו בזה דבר חדש, כתבו פרקי מלכות שחיטה, והדבר החדש הוא מה שכתב, אף על פי שכולם הלכה למשה מסיני, הועיל ואין לך בפירוש בתורה אלא דרוסה.
החמירו Now, הרמב"ם makes a very nice חידוש, that's what he's saying, the Magid Mishneh, that the concept of טרפה is the oraita. The details of what's terefa, which is 70 different types of terefot, is halacha Moshe Sinai. They're all ne'emru leMoshe Sinai. That's
all 70 or all 8?
I believe all 70. We can look. You know what?
Maybe just all 70 have like one of the.
Let's be medayik in shono shel harambam.
Okay. Maybe all 70 have something. Which came, let's say nekuva. Have nekuvat hareah, nekuvat.
Let's see. I understand. So, כבר באנו בהלכות איסורי מאכלות, שהטרפה אמורה בתורה היא הנוטה למות. חבוד.
ולא נאמר טרפה, אלא שדיבר הכתוב בהווה.
כיוון שטרפה ארי, אכל סבע ושפלה, ועדיין לא מתה. Okay. So, בטרפה, the principle of, because the word terefa literally means that it was injured by an animal. The word terefa itself means injured by animal. But that's not the law of terefa is not circumscribed by the word terefa.
כן.
The word terefa, injured by animal, is an instance of the broader law, and the broader law is notal amut.
כן.
And notal amut can be either injured by animal, it fell down, it got shot, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a very fine diuk that I just made it, because we need to understand this. So, ubasar basadeh terefa. Terefa means it was nidras by an animal. Right?
Yeah.
That doesn't circumscribe the law of ilchot terefot, and that's why maybe that's why Hanabam, unlike the Bet Yosef, he refers to it as ilchot terefot. That's ilchot terefot implies we're dealing with injuries brought about by other animals. Hanabam calls it ilchot shechita. You see the diuk of Hanabam. Why do you call it ilchot shechita? Don't call it ilchot shechita. Call it ilchot terefot. But it's true. Meaning, I'm not faulting the chas v'shalom, I'm faulting the Tur.
Yeah.
Because it is 70 terefot. We refer to the 70 terefot as terefot, even though they're not all injuries caused by animals. You understand? Hanabam himself, u'shmona minei terefot. And this doesn't include, it includes derusa, but it includes other things.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why I call it ilchot shechita.
Yeah.
Just like that. Okay, and then you're there. Meaning, Hilchot terefot seems to make more sense because we're referring to it as terefot. Hanabam himself refers to it as terefot. So why would Hanabam go out of his way, instead of calling it Hilchot terefot, he called it Hilchot shechita? Most of this is not about how to do shechita. Maybe to emphasize that. And then you're there. Just a slight diuk, but okay.
Could I ask another question? What?
Yeah.
Isn't there a pasuk for degusa? No?
Yeah, this is a pasuk. When you say ubasar basadeh terefa, another word for terefa is derusa. Right?
Why is it halakha למשה מסיני degusa?
So let's see. Okay, first so let's. אלא שדיבר הכתוב בהווה, כהון שטרפה ארי וכיוצא בו ושברה ועדיין לא מתה. That's the peshat of the pasuk.
Yeah.
Okay. ויש שם חולאים אחרים.
שאם יערו לה תחשב טרפה, והן הלכה למשה מסיני. ושמונה מן הטרפות נאמרו לו למשה מסיני ואלו הם.
דרוסה.
Yeah.
Now, דרוסה נאמרו לו למשה בסיני. Also נאמר בכתוב. Hashem אמר לו למשה בסיני, what the tefillin are, let's say. There's an interesting question about tefillin, because the last parashot of tefillin are in the book of Devarim. Okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu was in Sinai, how could he have shown what the tefillin are? Okay, use a different example. Peri Esadar.
Yeah.
So Peri Esadar is meforash b'Torah, but Ne'eman lo Moshe b'Sinai, Peri Esadar. It's the etrog, for example. Yeah. Right? I'm giving you an illustration of something Ne'eman lo Moshe b'Sinai. Okay. So we have the pasuk Peri Esadar. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that the Peri Esadar is the etrog. Stam ledugma. So here we're saying, yes, it's correct. It's meforash b'pasuk ubasar basadeh terefa. And Moshe Rabbeinu was in Har Sinai. He said derusa. Which is basar basadeh terefa.
Yeah.
Right?
We already heard that.
Okay, so ushmona minei terefot ne'emru למשה בסיני, which is derusa nekova chasera netula, pesuka keruah nefula shevura. We should make a song from this, so we remember about that. Derusa nekova chasera netula, pesuka keruah nefula shevura. Right now, so these are the 8 main categories of minei terefot. Shmona minei terefot ne'emru. ואף על פי שכולן הלכה למשה מסיני.
ואין לך בפירוש בתורה, אלא דרוסה.
So derusa is מפורש בתורה, you understand?
Yeah.
So yes, it says Peri Esadar, and also Moshe Rabbeinu was told in Sinai, by the way, etrog. Dude, it's the etrog. Oh, it's the etrog, yes, the etrog. That's Peri Esadar. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Right? So...
Yeah. Like extra details, like what's not derusa, what is derusa.
That's exactly, that's called Torah Shebe'al Peh. Torah Shebe'al Peh, derusa. And it was מפורש בתורה. Yeah, exactly. או אם אין לך בפרשת תורה לתרוסה, אין לו בעל חוסר שיסתפק בתרוסה אסור. As I said, ושמונה מיני טרפות, יש בהן ספקות מותרים. No, ושאר 7 מיני טרפות, יש בהן ספקות מותרים, כמו שהתבהר. Now that we know that the 8 categories of terefot were told to Moshe b'Sinai, he's going to explain. Terusa includes different situations, right? Let's say netula includes, we said, I think 3 situations. Somet Agidin, The kaved, yes. The kaved. What was the other one? Right, so it was right. So it's three things. It was the kaved, the somat hagidim, and the lehya elyon.
What is lehya elyon?
Oh, the jaw, the upper jaw of the animal.
Okay.
The upper jaw of the animal. Okay.
So not the cheek. I guess. Okay, the jaw.
Right. Upper part of the jaw. Maybe sometimes you see Chazal, like see the lines, they grab an animal from the front. You see they cut mamash, they grab it from the mouth. It's cruel. Wow, these the world could be a brutal place. Why? Literally grab it from the front. Maybe somehow he escaped, or maybe another maybe you grabbed the water buffalo from the front, and pulled out and then another group of water buffaloes came to rescue their friends. The water buffaloes are very friendly, like they try to save each other all the time. Like if they catch a lion getting their friend, if they surround the lion, what they do to that lion, they take it very personally. They're very, very kanaim. I mean, water buffaloes are very kanaim for other water buffaloes. They don't always succeed. Sometimes they get, sometimes the lions, they get the baby, that's it. But the point is, so the lion was grabbing the water buffalo by the mouth, trying to pull it down, and then the friends came, and the lion kind of was still holding onto the mouth and ran away. Okay, that would be terefa. Now, you know what really would be terefa? The shochet that tries to do shechita on that water buffalo. Shechita on a water buffalo. All right, but you understand. Move on. All right. Where were we? Mechila, we were in the Bet Yosef, right? All right. No, we were studying Anambam. You want to see Anambam, so now you understand the structure of the laws, right? Mamash be'amkut. Okay. So we were reading the Magid Mishneh.
I think we were like here, no?
Okay.
מרובה כל ספק.
Okay, כאן לשנות בגסף. אני לא מצאתי שום ספק טרפה.
ואני לא מצאתי שום ספק טרפה שיהיה מותר אלא גלודה.
אלא גלודה. Now, both the two in the Magid Mishneh, they copy what Harambam wrote here. Harambam wrote, "Bechol safek sheistapek b'derusah asur, u'sh'ar shiv'a minei terefot, yesh b'hen sefekot mutarim." So now the Bet Yosef says, which sefekot are you talking about? Okay, so he says the only case that I know of says the Bet Yosef is that the case says the Bet Yosef that I'm aware of where safek is mutar is geluda, an animal that was skinned, and there's a question. It depends how much was skinned, where it was skinned, and the question that the Gemara seems to deal. I mean, the Gemara says, of course, majority has to be skin, but then there's also certain vital organs that if they were skinned, the animal is considered terefa. The spine, the navel area, I think right? But then the Gemara asks a question, and if it was skinned in one of the vital areas, but on the rest of the animal, what's halakha then? So there's a point where the Gemara says tekel. So apparently there, the halakha is, since it's safek, it's mutar. So the Bet Yosef is saying the only thing that I remember that if it's a safek, אני לא מצאתי שום ספק טרפה שהיא מותר, אלא גלודה. לדעת הרמב"ם בפרק ט' בהלכות שחיטה, הלכה ז', let's look at הרמב"ם, פרק ט' הלכה ז', חוות בהמה.
בהמה שנפשט העור שעליה כולו, בין שנקרא ביד או בחולי, ונמצאת בשר בלא עור, הרי זו טרפה.
That's considered טרפה.
והיא הנקראת גלודה.
Right, that's גלודה.
ואם נשאר מן העור רוחב סלע על פני כל השדרה, ורוחב סלע על הטבור, ורוחב סלע על ראשי איבריה.
So these are like vital organs. So the spinal cord, the tabur is like the area of the belly button, ראשי איבריה. Okay, הרי זו מותרת. ואם ניטל.
ואם ניטל כרוחב סלע מעל כל פני השדרה, או מעל הטבור, או מעל ראשי איבריה, ושאר כל העור קיים, הרי זו ספק.
Right, the navel area that I was referring to earlier was the tabur, not the nose. I think I may have said nose. Right, the tabur, navel area, tabur, not. I don't remember what I said, but just in case I said nose, I'm going to correct that. Okay. ושאר כל העור קיים, הרי זו ספק. So if you have אוקיי, אם ניתן כל רוחב זה מעל פני כל השדרה, או מעל השבע ריח. And right, so I was correct. And the שאר האורץ קיים, that's a ספק, that's a teko, the Gemara. And then הרמב"ם says, ויראה לי שמתירין אותה. He says, הרי זו ספק, ויראה לי שמתירין אותה. So the Yosef is pointing out, הרמב"ם says, that any ספק שנולד is in anything other than in the derusa, that's לכולה. So but Yosef said, the only case I remember about Rambam is the Safek is Perek Tet, Halacha Zayin, right? Where he says, the Yera'eli shematilin ota. Safek Yeluda is mutar. Yera'eli shematilin ota. So what? Okay.
Even there, it's not like 100% clear.
Exactly. I'm going to explain Rambam in a moment. סימן נון tet. אכתוב בסייעתא דשמיא דלה מכשלה אלא משום ספק ספקה. And later on in Siman Nun Tet, this is Siman Kaf Tet, I'm going to explain the laws of Geludah, and they are going to explain why Harambam was matir that situation. And there, the situation is because Safek Safeka. Oh, not because of Safek Lekula, but there's a Safek Safeka. Because I'm going to explain it later on. I think the answer is there's a difference between Safek and the law. And the Safek Geludah, Safek and the law. And the laws of Terefot, there weren't any Safekot brought, they were all Badai laws. But if you have a Safek, for example, the door came and took the Re'ah away. There's when Rambam says that any Safek is mutar, other than Safek Derusa, because you have a Safek B'mesiut. So again, the door comes and takes away the lung. For example, or let's say I think that there might have been an injury in the membrane of the brain. I want to check the membrane in the brain, and suddenly I don't know, comes a animal and takes it away. Right? I don't know anymore. So that's a safek. That's what I think, right? Otherwise, how do you explain Harambam?
Isn't that because rov behemot kasherot?
Okay, and yet, if you have a safek derusa, let's say, interesting question. So let me ask you a question. Let's say you have an animal, let's read the law of what makes an animal derusa. Okay, let's read it right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're saying that the reason he's saying that it seems like it's mutar, לעניין גלודה, because it's a safek in the din.
Right, and the Gemara brings it as a teko. So that's why he says Yera'eli, since it's a teko, and the Gemara brings it as a teko, he says Yera'eli, that it should be mutar. He wouldn't have said that in the case of derusa, but also there could be a situation of safek in the mesiut. Right? I don't know. I have a...
Maybe if you're not sure if something, the nekev before shechita or after shechita, I don't know.
Okay, no, there's many situations that he says the kabanat toref, right? The animal had to have an intention. So now I see a cougar falling on a sheep. It was walking on a wall and falling on a sheep, and I'm not sure, did it fall off the wall or did it actually jump the sheep? And then it inserted its siporen, because according to the laws of Dores, it has to be the siporen, not the so it's insert its siporen, right? And now I don't know, and the cougar ran away, so I couldn't investigate. Right? You understand? The point is, I know what the kavanah was. It should be taref. It's a safek in the mesiut, right? Safek in the mesiut should be right.
Okay.
Here, safek terusa asura perek he halacha yod aleph in ilchot shechita. Safek terusa asura. Right. But another situation, you wouldn't say that. Another situation, you wouldn't say that. An animal, a chicken was walking on a wall, and according to halacha, it has to be 10 tefachim ordained, and then. The chicken fell from the wall because the wall collapsed. Now, I'm not sure whether the wall was 10 tefachim or not. It's a safek. It's a safek. Right? It's safek, and I don't know. I mean, let's assume that nitrasek one of the evarim as a result of the fall, but it wasn't. Now, interesting. Let's say an animal fell from that's a chicken. It fell from a wall of 5 tefachim. Then nitrasek achan me'evarim, but it's not an ever, which would make it a terefa. Meaning, it's not one of the.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It broke its toe. Right. So it's not somet hagidim. It's not anything.
Isn't nefula טרפה וצלף?
No, nefula is only terefa. Yeah, no, it's one of the terefot. Nefula is one of the 8 terefot, but it has to be, how is it defined, the law of nefula? The law of nefula has to be a 10 tefachim and it's rasek achan me'avarim. So let's say a chicken fell, and I don't know whether the wall is 10 tefachim or not. I know it's rasek achan me'avarim, I see it like it broke its one of the toes.
So even if the toe isn't the טרפה, if it נתרסק, but because it fell from the gag.
Nitrasek achan me'avarim, so it would be asur, let's say.
Yeah.
Let's say, right? You understand the idea?
Yeah.
So it would be asur. Right? It would be asur.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was 10 tefachim or not.
So,
So on that, we would have to say that should be mutar.
yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, ככה נראה לעניות דעתי. I mean, I don't compare myself to the Bet Yosef. I feel I have the right answer, but I don't want to chas v'shalom be presumptuous. It was a Bet Yosef, Bet Yosef Kala. I wish Jeddah was here, because Jeddah can be able to be mepapel with him and ask him what he thinks. But okay. All right. So tzarich iyun. איך עשינו ספק טרפה מותרת? I think I just gave a whole bunch of ספק טרפה מותרת. No?
Yeah.
ככה נראה לי. Okay. Now this is the problem. If you were saying this in the yeshiva world, they make a million, no, but this, but that.
So saying what?
Because one of the important things is in the modern Gdolim world is you have to be a mental castrado. So if you read something one of the Gdolim said, you're not allowed to exercise your judgment, or you're not allowed to exercise your intelligence. Who are you to exercise your intelligence? Yeah. He said that there's no case of safek terefa. Now, I just brought some cases of safek terefa. I exercise my judgment. Now, I could be wrong. But I'm willing, and you could tell me, Daddy, I think you're wrong because of this and this. But we're having a conversation. In the yeshiva world, if one of the Gdolim said something, and you said, well, I think otherwise, it doesn't matter. They find them, they'll do intellectual gymnastics and this and that, and finally, who are you? The conversation would end with, who are you? But that's how the way Sephardim. So when we study Torah, we, have a azkana mer, right? Azkana mer, you have to have a certain azut to study Torah, right? All right. Let's read one more thing in the Bet Yosef. ומה שכתב דשמונה מיני טרפות הם הלכה למשה מסיני. No, so it's מיני טרפות. Min is לשון זכר. So שמונה מיני טרפות. It would be שמונה טרפות, but שמונה מיני טרפות, I think. Okay, ממרה דעולה. בראש פרק אלו טרפות. חלות.
וכשנזכיר פרטי הטרפות, תמצא שיש איש,
תמצא איש על דגלו לבית אב של אחת משמונה מיני טרפות אלו. So he calls this like the 8 טרפות are like אבות, and then איש על דגלו, right? Very nice, right? Okay.
וזה שבמשנה ריק פרק, רש פרק, אלו טרפות.
But one of the מחלוקות that I had with חכם אהרון חלב, I mean המחלוקת, of course, Hashem Shamayim, not this, is that we have on Shabbat, we have Avot, and we have Toladot. I'm not sure what his opinion is now, but I don't know whether he still holds that opinion on. So one of the machlokot I had was that when we have the Avot Melachot 40 Chaser Echad, 39 Avot Melachot, and then we have Toladot. Does the Toladot include only those Toladot specifically mentioned by the Gemara, or can I have a new Tolada not mentioned by the Gemara? For example, one of the cases that sometimes we discuss is like electricity on Shabbat. Electricity wasn't mentioned by the Gemara. So, is it a Tolada? I can say it's a Tolada, it's Pe'ula Doma, Totsa'a Doma, or they say no, it wasn't mentioned in the Gemara. So that's one of the machlokot we have. I was of the opinion that a Tolada doesn't have to be limited to specific instances of Toladot brought by the Gemara, and he was of the opinion otherwise. I respect, of course, respect his opinion 100%. But I disagreed with this opinion on this point. But here, in the case of Terefot, we have the 8 avot, let's call it, and we have the 70 situations, 70 instances.
Yeah, and each of the 70 need to have something from the 8.
Yes, yeah. Kacha nira. All right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's finish this thing and then we'll... Okay. Right. בדש המשנה יש פרק על הטרפות שנויים חי מן הטרפות. It brings 18. That's because there's something special about these 18 as opposed to others. ואפילו אחי, לא חששו, הרמב"ם מלבן אומר חי טרפות הן משום דאמנים בגמרא, דתנא ושיער. The Gemara says, what about the 70 טרפות? Why does the Rambam say there's 18 טרפות? Why does it say there's 18? Rambam, he says there's 70 טרפות. Why does he say 18 like the Mishnah?
Yeah.
Because Tanna v'Shia means that Tanna brought some of the 70, he didn't bring all of the 70. Shia.
Okay.
That's what Tanna v'Shia means. ואף אגב דתנא דרבי ישמעאל.
ואף אגב דתנא רבי ישמעאל יוד חית.
תתנא דרבי ישמעאל. תנא דרבי ישמעאל means we have a beraita from the Bet Midrash of Rabbi Yishmael. There is a beraita that says.
Yeah. Yod xet terefot.
But that's not Rabbeinu Kadosh didn't make Pesach like Rabbi Yishmael. So that's what we say. Tana v'Shia. He brought these 18 cases not to imply that Al-Chaz like Rabbi Yishmael. Shia, he left other cases. Dehatane. Minyana.
מכל מקום, מניין דשמונה עדיף. שהם סוגים יותר כוללים.
Yeah, because it's the 8 main categories is categories that encompass all of the 70 terefot. And the 18, no, they're all.
Like
furthermore.
the 18, נקובת הכבד, נקובת הריאה, right? Am I miss? Like both of them are נקובה.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. ועוד אמר, I'm sorry. ועוד עולה.
ועוד עולה, דהו אמרה, אמר.
זה שמונה נינו. Now, Allah was aware of the Mishnah.
Yeah.
So he didn't know the Mishnah. So there's no significance. I mean, the 18, it's just a list of common terefot that happens in animals, and then common terefot that happen in ofot. It's not only terefot. It's not that there's something special about the 18. There is something special about the 8, because the 8 is like avot. That's why he says, beautiful the way he starts the Bet Yosef, ish al diglo levet av. Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
וכשנזכיר פרטי הטרפות, תמצא איש על דגלו לבית אב של אחת משמונה בטרפות האלה. A very lovely way of putting it. Okay. ועוד אמר,
דהלכה למשה מסיניהם. ומכל מקום יש לדקדק דעים כן, דבשיטת עולה אמרינן, האמרינן בגמרא, דעולה מפיק לקטע הקוליה, שאינו בכלל שום אחד משמונה מניינים
הללו. Okay, so העולה מפיק לקטע הקוליה, situation where there was an injury in the kidney.
Yeah.
And then the Gemara notes that this terefa, according to Ula, one of the terefot is לקטע הקולה, בצד ההלכה. אינו בכלל שום אחד משמונה המינים הללו. It's not encompasses one of these 8 categories. Will be there. And therefore it's mechila the other way around. Since lakta hakulya is not in one of these 8 categories, kashera. Ubagemara apikna de lakta hakulya terefa. The other way around, not like I explained it, right?